Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We lost Maya. Okay. Hello, Maya. Okay, so thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This webinar is brought to you by Tilco Advisors. We are a consultancy firm, and we're focusing on leading the digital transformation of the construction sector with regulatory expertise, education, and software solutions. By recently becoming official training providers for BuildingSMART International, we are offering the foundation certification, and we are helping bridge the gap between the global standards and the need fixed to master knowledge and upskill.
Yeah, last time we talked about verifying BIM competency, and you can watch our last episode on our YouTube channel and LinkedIn. Today we're gonna get more practical. We're gonna talk about how to get BIM BuildingSMART certified and how does this certification benefit us and actually the whole construction sector.
Okay, so I think before we get into these topics, Maya, I think it's good to introduce ourselves. I'm going to start and say hello again, everybody. My name is Sotiria Saridou, and I work as a BIM associate consultant for Tilco Advisors with a background in geotechnical civil engineering. My current field of interest is being shared between being a BIM delivery expert for our Tilco Academy and also sharing my part in projects that have to do with the digital product passport. Maya, would you like to say a couple words about yourself as well?
Yes, of course. So, hi everyone. I'm Maya Nijo. I'm also on the position of associate BIM consultant at Tilco Advisors. Civil engineering is my background, but currently I'm working in the intersection of construction and digital transformation. So we talk about BIM adaptation, DPP, and new tech, partly technical and part of the project management, and a lot of translating between those two parts. And I'm really glad I'm here today. And I also want to say welcome to our audience, and feel free to drop any questions and comments as we go. And for sure, we'll back to them, and let's get into it and let's start our conversation.
I'm really happy to do this with you, Maya. And let's not forget, once again, our great moderator, Camila, who's working behind the scenes for us today to make sure that we deliver this experience of this webinar as best as possible for you. Thank you very much, Camila. And now let's quickly jump into today's agenda. Today's discussion will be split into 3 topics. We're going to start off by discussing why is the BuildingSMART certification a must-have in today's industry. Then we will share our personal experiences from the exam. And finally, we will explain all the exam procedure that is needed and which is the content of the foundation course. Let's now introduce to everybody our special guest for today, Magdalena Piszkowski. She's an industry expert with many years of experience and in construction and digital transformation. Magda, we're very happy to have you with us today. Would you like to say a couple of words about yourself?
Yes, thank you very much for having me again. So a pleasure to be with you. Hello, everyone. Magda Pyszkowski. I am civil engineer as well, and I'm working in the building industry and manufacturing for 20 plus years. The focus is for me is always to connect the dots, for the data coming from the manufacturing to the design construction process. And today I am, as a guest, I'm really happy to be that we will talk about the certification of the BuildingSMART in International, which is like a basis for the BIM process. So again, happy to be here.
We're very happy to have you with us, Magda. And Maya, would you like to start with our first topic for today?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Magda, and welcome. Welcome, Magda, and thank you, Styria. Let me maybe start with the logical questions to everybody. How do I prove that actually I understand the BIM workflows? Who should I trust when there's like hundreds of programs out there, some practical, some about the theory? And in this spot, this is where BuildingSMART International comes. Is the worldwide authority on the digital transformation for a built environment. They are a non-profit international body that has been around since mid-90s. They create standards that allow the entire industry to communicate. And let's maybe start our conversation with the question to you, Magda, as someone who actually worked closely with the BuildingSMART. Over the years, you've seen how the industry tries to standardize itself from the very inside. So what are the problems that the certification is solving for professionals?
I think it's important because today we are in the world of the compliance. So we need to be compliant to the not only to the standard, but to the building code, to the different regulation. And Building Smart International did a big step in this direction by providing the certification process. And when we talk about compliance and certification, it's mostly about understanding of the process. When you understand the process, then you can trust the people who do this process. So this is really about this compliance, understanding of the process, and trust in the people and trust in the process.
I think, Magda, you couldn't have said it better. But I also think it's really important that right now we explain the 3 different levels of the certification benefit. You talked about the individual part, but I think also it's really important to analyze a little bit about the image into the 3 levels. So first we had the personal, then moving on into the company level, and also the sector level. So for the companies, we know that Building Smart focuses on OpenBIM, and the certified team speaks the exact same data language, which keeps everyone aligned. At the same time, it gives the companies a massive competitive edge because they can go after bigger projects, and it eases hiring and team growth because the hiring manager, the HR, they know that the people they hire, if they have the certification, they have all the knowledge needed, and it will ease their onboarding process. At the same time, for the sector, it creates a common baseline for everybody in the world, which I think is the most important part in our sector. And in that way, we have fewer designer clashes, we have clean data handovers, and ultimately, the outcome is easier for us to navigate the engineers, all the stakeholders, and at the end user who is using what we built, it's also a better experience for them. And I think it's really important because many people think that, okay, this is something that I don't have to do now, it's something in the future. I think, Magda, it's really important to ask the question, what will happen if a company does not follow this digital transformation trajectory? What happens to them in the future?
Yeah, I think there is two layers. So one layer is that from 2014, we have the regulation which allows or which recommend to use of the BIM on the projects. Now, by 2026, additional to the regulation and also the national regulation, we are in some kind of the technology shift. So today is about AI, data, and process together. So for the company who are not really aligned with this, who has no competencies, that will be lagging behind. So this is like when you have this kind of the shift, where you need to somehow adapt yourself, questioning yourself. So this is about will I survive in the future? It's for me, it's like a license to operate for many of the companies, and to operate this, you need to somehow also invest in the people, in the training, upskilling, to just go with the flow, let's say.
Yes, and we really need to be open, like for the changes nowadays, because like we actually don't know what's going to happen, like with the new AI, with the new technologies. Like actually every day the new informations are appearing. So if we not standardize it on the company level, on the country level, on the like sector level, then we can get lost, and like we can like really face the real consequences from it.
Yeah, and this is quite visible, and maybe I just do some kind of the memories from the last Building Smart summit. So 1 year ago, we talked just that, okay, there is AI is coming to the process, we'll use the data for the process. This year, we saw already the real example how to use the AI in the process. But there's a question, or maybe there is something, if you just use AI without understanding what should be done, then probably you will not get what you want. So this is about this. So somehow, you need to question yourself, and you need to question the competencies of the people who work with the processes.
Mm-hmm. But you also need to be like open-minded for this upskilling and this training, I guess. Yeah. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really believe in this in this part that we need to somehow educate the people and allow people to be educated.
Yes, exactly. That's a really good point, and I think it's a nice jump to talk maybe a little bit more about our experience. But before that, I would like to mention about the Silco advisors. We're offering the foundation certification from BuildingSMART. This is like a base layer that you're starting with before you go deeper into the open BIM and get more specific. So maybe let's see the roadmap of the Building Smart certification path, and we can explain how it works, like where we start and where we can end this path. So maybe Magda, you can just walk us through the path.
For me, this picture must be seen by many, because this is something which is really professionalization of the sector, and this is the picture showing, what is the way to be certified by BuildingSMART International, which is, as we said, the international body to promote open standard, open exchange, common data environment, etc. So you start with the entry level, which is really like an entry level. So you go to the BuildingSMART International website and you do the test, and this is giving you like a first understanding what OpenBIM is, what are the standards used, etc. And then
it's for free. Like we can.
Yeah, this is a good point. This is really for free. Myself, I did it just on the beginning, like a couple months ago, I think, and it took me like 2-3 hours to study. So I can imagine that the people who didn't do that, maybe they need 2 hours more. But you can do this, one during the weekend time. And then you have foundation training, and this is what you have mentioned, Maya and Sotiria. I think this is something which is a basis, and a basis for everything else. And this is you need more preparation, but it gives you really the understanding of whole process and whole tools and workflows that the BuildingSMART is promoting across the international communities. And having this, and after minimum 2 years of practice, you can go for the next level, which is either management or practitioner. But this is 2 different trainings after on. Yeah.
And maybe did you thought about like taking also, because right now you're certified in foundation, but have you thought about like taking the getting certified in management or practitioner level, or not yet?
Yeah, totally. And I think this is something that we should do all our life, to not stop to learn. So this is one of this, probably management. I'm most focused on the contractual part, so this will be much more interesting for myself. But it's really depending on the situation when you stay in your life, professional life, I mean.
Yes, of course. And what you actually
what about you, ladies? Because you did also foundation, I know it.
Yes, like it's like what I wanted to say, like it's more about what you feel more comfortable in, but there's also the option to take both of the certification. But personally for me, I was considering practitioner level, because currently we established the partnership also with the practitioner provider in Europe, VDC Base, and since I started to dig deeper into the frame of knowledge and the outcome of it, I think it's more on my side. So it's getting deeper into the softwares, into how to manage the data with the different tools. So I think I'm more on the practitioner level, but I still need the time and some experience to maybe consider like taking the certification.
I think for myself, I would go more into management, because I'm not really software oriented as a person, but I really like to coordinate teams, work with people, and I'm very organized when it comes to executing tasks. So I think management would work better for me. But that's the beauty of it. Like no matter what the job position you're gonna go after, there are 2 options you can follow, or both if someone has the time and the energy. So I think it's really, really nice to have the options.
Yeah, and I think management is something which will be like more, let's say, linear, maybe less changes. When practitioner is really about knowing different softwares, and we know that this is depending also when you are sitting in which country, what is your project done, which kind of software they use. It's depending. So it's maybe I don't know. Practitioner seems to be more agile, because also the software provider who are working on the development of the software. So I think this is both of them are very valid, and it should be next step for everybody who did the foundation.
Yes, I'm also super curious, like from our audience, like I don't know if you guys like already certified on foundation level, and also if you thought maybe afterwards to get like the certification on a management practitioner level. Please leave the comment, because it's also a nice insight for us to see how many people are interested about it, because it's also like we didn't mention it, but it's kind of like an exclusive certification, because you are visible on the official registry on the BuildingSMART website, and also our names appeared there because I checked it. So yes, it's like a great great benefit for you, like when you like also from the company's perspective.
And I think this is a good point, this registry on the webpage of the BuildingSMART International. And I just referring what you said, Sotiria, before. What is the input for the construction companies? If you are in the tender phase, you need to also show the CVs of the people that will be working on the project, and having the people who are already registered because they passed the exam. It's really giving you better score in the tender phase. So it's really something. And when you check also this registry, you see that there is, I think, plus 18,000 people already passed the exam, and it's worldwide. So this is really developing very quickly, and it's really great to see this professionalization of the
Yes.
portfolio.
Yes, definitely. Like on foundation level, it's like maybe right now like more well known, but practitioner and management is still fresh. So it's nice to also be like a pioneers that getting the certification and position yourself like on a maybe higher understanding. So maybe right now we can talk a little bit like behind the scenes, because three of us we met in Porto Summit when we actually sit and took an exam to get certified, and maybe we can see the photo of us, of me and Sotiria. It was our group. That's how the exam in Porto looked like, and yes, it was pretty stressful moment. But the question, like, it's like actually what made you ladies like what made you take the exam, and what made you feel like you need this certification in your life?
For me, as a young professional, I wanted to gain as much experience as possible, but that's pretty difficult when you start your first steps as an engineer. So I wanted to get a certification that I can use anywhere and not be software specific, follow some trendy software that I cannot use in one job or on another. So I thought that this was the best way to go, and it proved itself. It's a certification that I can use to show that I have the basics of OpenBIM, and then I can advance myself and immerse more into the BIM ecosystem. So I think it was pretty impactful.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I think that there is different challenge for the young generation or for the a little bit older one. So
Seasoned.
like I walk the talk. Okay, so when you say that you are expert and you don't have a certification, you don't walk the talk. So this is one, and the second one is really challenging yourself, because it's really difficult to back to school, let's say, and to pass the exam if you are not used to to do this on the daily basis. So it was really like challenging myself and saying, okay, can I pass as other, and it was really great feeling once you did it.
Mm-hmm.
What's yours?
For me actually super quickly, like it's a super quick decision, because like I was on this practical side. I used like different softwares for designing, for modeling, and then I realized like I don't understand the data behind it. Like I don't know what's the concept of BIM itself. So then I realized, okay, I need some knowledge that's gonna give me this foundation level, and then I found out about the BuildingSMART International, and I started to getting to know like, okay, the certification is really it's gonna really give me the basics, and then the theory level, the theory knowledge that I needed at that point.
Okay, that's really nice to hear. But I think it's also a really nice place to discuss, because we promised to talk about how to get certified. So we talked about finding the software provider, the training provider, and then we need to move on to the exam itself. So ladies, we've been through the exam, but I think it's also nice to explain to our audience how it works. So once you study the material that is provided, for which we will go into a little bit more detail later, it is time for the certification exam, which is 25 questions, multiple choice, and we have 30 minutes. So it is a little bit stressful, but if someone is prepared well enough, I think it should be very nicely done. The passing score is 75%, so it means that we can only afford just a few mistakes.
Yeah.
But the good thing is we built the mock exam at the Tilco Academy, which I think was very, very helpful for this situation. We wanted everyone to fail in a safe environment first, to turn the scary exam into just a victory lap for them to see their blind spots right before the exam and not during the exam. So once someone sat down like us at the BuildingSMART Summit in Porto to have the exam, or at an online exam as happening usually, it was just you confirm what you have already practiced inside the academy and during the mock exam. And since we talked about the mock exam, I think it's also a great opportunity at the same time to talk about the course structure, as I promised earlier. So I can imagine everyone wondering, okay, I will take the foundation exam. Great, but what is in the exam? What am I going to learn? Because every academy out there, they are selling training programs, BIM, and those big three letters everywhere. But what do we actually learn? We saw that the problem was that many professionals were failing the exam because they were either avoiding it or not taking the exam after all. And they were struggling to follow the online sessions. When someone's very busy, they have families, they have work, it's really difficult. So we thought that having a self-paced course was much better. We can follow on our own speed, we can study on the weekend or during the day at midnight if someone has the time to do it then. So for more details on how the Academy works, we're going to talk about it in our next webinar on June 4th, which we will be very happy to have you with us. You can scan the QR code here and join us in the next webinar. But now let's move back into the foundation program. It is split into 5 modules based on the outcome framework by BuildingSMART. And it goes like this. Module number 1, we talk about the problems that led the construction sector to lead them into BIM. Then we go to module number 2, and we talk about the advantages and the benefits of BIM compared to the traditional project delivery, as everyone knows already. Then module 3 becomes a little bit more specific. We get into the project information management according to ISO always. Module number 4 talks about the need for open interoperable solutions, and at the same time for more advanced tools by BuildingSMART, like the Common Data Environment, IDS, MVD, and all these really, really nice and helpful tools that help our sector every day. And then module number 5 is closing with data security, because as someone can tell, when we are in a digital era, what is very important is to protect the data and keep it safe for the people who need to use them, and also avoid malpractice. So I want to ask the ladies, which one you found most interesting or maybe challenging even from the 5 modules?
Aya, maybe you can start.
Yeah, I can start, but like I need to rethink like what was the most interesting. But I think like I didn't have like any specific module that like resonates to me like always the most important or the most interesting. For me, usually when I'm learning, it's like jumping around the topics and just trying to find the connection between them. And that's what I did also with the foundation training. So I think to actually understand the connection, it's actually the core of the BIM. So the connection between all the acronyms that like the appointing parties, different stakeholders, different parts of the construction workflow. That was, I think, the most interesting for me to actually finally understand like what is it all about, what the BIM is about. So yeah, that was actually for me.
Yeah, and I think you pointed this very well, because this is really about process, about the connecting the roles, responsibilities, and to understand who is responsible for in terms of the data delivery. And I think this is a really great explain in the training, and give you really the structure how you should work on the project and how you can consider the collaboration, which is not only the word collaboration, but it's really like we should work together. So this is really great. So there is no one which was the most difficult. For me, the abbreviation are always difficult, but I think this is not my case. So yeah.
No, I completely agree with you. I really, really struggle with abbreviations and the acronyms. I really struggle. But what helped me was those examples that we are using that they go into a real life scenario, so you can tell which is which.
Yes.
For me, in the information models, oh my God, like it was very difficult for me to remember like iOS, BOS, all these little letters. But when you see them in real problems and in real practice, you can understand better, and it becomes muscle memory.
Yeah. Also, I feel like for me the structure of it. So we have like videos, like the videos that explains all the problems, and then we have a summary of the lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those videos was also like a nice way to learn, because we have the access to it like all the time. So I was just sometimes like putting the video, just like listening to what is said in the video, and then it was a nice way to learn. Like
I mean, the results, they speak for themselves. We have 3 people here who are certified. And I think we even have a picture with us holding the certification. Here it is, with our colleague, Louis Trampler. I think it's a really great picture. I really like it.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty interesting because like we all like totally different, but we all sat in the same room and took the same examination, and also like Louis, he's working really practical with a lot of standards and like with connecting Beam and AI itself. And yes, me as I'm working on the totally different side, it was like nice to see that everyone sat and took the same exam and wanted to be certified and check their knowledge even. So
yeah, and I think I'm quite proud of this, this exam. And I think there is a lot of colleagues who were part of this, summit who want to do this, but they didn't dare. So the idea is that they will dare for the next summit, or during, before the summit, that people can be more, more people can be certified.
yeah,
I think also sometimes the people, they are waiting maybe for their employer or for their company to take the initiative and start these certification programs, but it's also something that they can either do themselves for their personal development or even recommend it to their company, to their HR as team growth.
Yeah, and this is what I see, because I'm quite, connected with many of the people. I see that some of the people are really taking this as an opportunity, because they could be considered that they will be really considered as a really professional, having, the certification. And I see that many of them, they already started, certified by themselves 2 years ago, but it was really the beginning of the official certification, which is really great. And it's not always in Europe, but I saw a lot of people from Brazil, for example. So it's really global and going.
Yeah, and also like India chapter is also appearing on the registry. Like yeah.
And
also,
another thing,
and this will be about competitiveness, because if you have more skilled people, that the company will be more competitive. So there is some kind of a relation between people, certified skilled people, and gaining the project, winning
exactly. And what I really, really like about this certification as well is that it's not just a fancy paper that you can hold in a picture like we did, or something that you just put on LinkedIn to share and have people look at you. It's a certification that all the information you gain, you can use it the next day at the office. You can go to the office and say, okay, I have learned XYZ, and these are things that you can actually use in your everyday life. It's not just knowledge that you can, even if it's theoretical in the foundation level, you can use it in your everyday life, and it's making you and your teammates' life much easier.
Yeah, exactly.
But actually, you can put the badge and show also on LinkedIn that you're certified. So it's also
definitely.
I think we did it, all of us, because you can easily put the on the LinkedIn the badge, and everybody can check also, the date of the certification when it was done. So this is really a nice insight for your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, and actually, I have a question for you. Like, I don't know where was your experience of the exam in Porto? Like, have you been stressed? Like, I don't know. Do you remember how did you feel? Like,
I was stressed because I didn't have enough battery in my computer, so I was stressed to find a place to plug. But I was stressed also because of the time, because it's 30 minutes only. So we need to be very well prepared, because there is some kind of the methodology how to pass the test. So you have the question, as you said, and 4 answers, and you must to understand the context to give the right answer. So it's really about be focused. So it's really about being prepared. What kind of test you will go through.
And Soteria, you remember how was the exam for you?
For me, as a fresh graduate, because I'm really, really used to exams still, it was just a little bit less stressful. But at the same time, it felt like I was having the driver's license exam again, like very quickly, the multiple choice questions. But I think what helped ease the stress was the preparation. If you have prepared and you have seen all the real life examples, I think it's a piece of cake to then go and have the exam. But also always the exam jitters are always there. Even if you're well prepared, they are always there for you to keep your cortisol a little bit spiked.
Yeah, and probably like usually when you're taking it online by yourself is like less stressful. But there in Porto, I remember we were sitting like in a big room with a lot of people, so it was like a little bit of pressure. Okay, maybe I'm gonna be the only one from like 30 people sitting around me that won't pass the exam. And I even remember like, okay, I was checking the boxes, I was pretty sure about my answers, but still we were sitting like just behind me, and I just heard like, yeah, I passed, and then I was like so stressed to just click the submit button, but yeah, fortunately I passed, and and the stress was maybe for nothing. But yeah, it was a nice experience to come back to the university time when it was just we needed to check our knowledge and if we were prepared or not.
Exactly.
All right. So I think with this, we have covered all the three main topics that we wanted to talk about. Of course, we are open to questions. If someone has a question about the certification, about our personal experience, or in general about the journey of building smart, we're more than happy to answer now, or you can also contact us after the webinar. We're always open and happy to discuss and connect with everybody. So let's see if there are any questions or comments in the chat. I think it's taking quite a few seconds to show them to us.
Yeah. Do we have any question? Yeah. Somebody's asking if we can show the registry. I'm not sure we can stream, but it's really we can minimum we can send the link also, about the registry of the BuildingSMART International. I think this makes sense to show it.
Do we have the link, or do you want me to find it?
Yes, let's find it. Because I think this is
And it's also the good thing about the certification. What I really like with the registry is that it's a lifetime certification. So you take it once, and then we can have it forever to keep in our personal CV and portfolio to show around. And actually, I had many people contacting me after having the certification, recruiters or companies, and they were saying that, we saw that you have the certification, and they were even asking me questions like how I got into the certification as a young professional. So it does really grab the attention of people.
And here, I think we can just explain this registry is really great done because you can go by the type of the training.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also see where the training was delivered and where is the country for the person who was certified. So you can really have a research by name, by country, by type of the organization, and it's really growing. And I think if I remember well, it's updated every couple of days after each of the exam. And as we see, we have 18 plus people already certified around the globe, which is really huge because the certification is quite new. So it's like running for 2 years. And we see like growing interest of this, so it's really great. So I think this is something that I personally will be promoting because this is really about professionalization of our sector. And also maybe one thought I mentioned is on the beginning. The certification is not only the people who work in the construction, it's also for the people who deliver the data for the construction. So I mean all of the manufacturers who are now dealing with digital product passport. They also, if there is a big gap in the understanding what is BIM, what is how I can be part of the process, and this foundation training gives you this understanding. So this is really for everyone who is connected to the construction somehow.
Exactly, because in order to understand each other, we need to see what each one of us does. At least even on surface level, we need to know a couple of things about the people we work with to be able to work more efficiently with each other.
Yeah, exactly. And also like just to compare, because like foundation certification is like for now like more well known, and a lot of people like took it, like 18,500 people, and it's only updated on the 12th of April. So yeah, it's still probably maybe a little bit more, but as we can see, like on the management level, it's only 38 students registered, and on the practitioner level, this is the whole practitioner. But if we choose the proper one, so it's an open BIM practitioner, it's only it's not updating, but generally it's only like 16 people in the updated, and as we can see, like most of the people from China and the provider from Europe, which is who is Lex from VDC base from Netherlands. But the database is not updated because it's like from 15th of January, but it's still really exclusive to also take later after foundation the practitioner level certification.
Exactly.
And I think it's going to grow in the next few years. Like already there's lots of interest by companies and people. And I think slowly but steadily they are understanding the value behind it for the team growth, for the company growth, and then at the end for the sector, for everybody to be able to cooperate and work with each other.
Yes, and we did some kind of test, like a live test on the Open Beam in Warsaw last week. We participated in the conference organized by BuildingSMART Poland, and Anna Rydz, so the chair of BuildingSMART Poland, asked who is certified already, and we saw only a couple of hands, but then we saw also that there was a lot of interest and discussion around this certification and training. So it seems to be like a very, important for the sector, and people understand that they need to upskill themselves. So I think this is a very, very good trend. So let's build on it.
Yeah, I think it's also happening in Portugal. Like after the summit in Porto, we were discussing with a lot of people and a lot of representatives from Portugal. They were also saying like we didn't even realize like how the certification from BuildingSMART is important. But currently they're thinking about like upskilling their teams and actually implementing this training into their upskilling process. And
so we can proudly show our.
I don't have the pin on me right now, but I have the sticker on my agenda.
Right, this is something that is visible also. So for different, type of the event to show.
Yeah, so maybe one more time we're gonna ask the audience if there are any questions before we wrap up the webinar.
I think we still have a couple of minutes, but okay. Okay, so I think in order to keep the timing correct, we should wrap up slowly but steadily. So we want to thank everybody who was here with us today, joining us and listening about the certification. Again, we are very happy to connect with you after the webinar, discuss, and we would also be very happy to have you with us on June 4th on our next webinar. We were going to talk about more into detail about how our academy, the Tilco Academy, is working and it's helping students achieve and pass the exam.
Yes.
So Magda, thank you very much for being with us today. Maya, thank you very much also for doing this with me today. And we would be very happy to see you in the next webinar.
Yeah, looking forward to watch this. Thank you very much for having me. Have a great day, everyone.
You too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.